said you are on deck, but coming to the stage right now. I said coming to the stage right now. Oh, I said coming to the stage right now. Give it up for Ivana. I said give it up for Ivana. I said give it up for Ivana.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Hey! What did the Australian chess player say to the waiter?
What?
He said, checkmate.
Ah.
I think Shaquille O'Neal's like the happiest man on the planet, right? He's always so jolly. I think it's because he's never been messed with. You know, like how you gonna bully someone who's so tall it's crotches in your face, right? It's like, hey Shaq, give me our lunch money. Never mind. Yeah, I've seen these billboards all over town about this blind mountain climber that climbed to the top of Mount Everest. It's pretty inspirational. But I was thinking, well, how did he know he's on top of Mount Everest? You know, for all I knew, he could have just been on top of Mount Whitney, like right over there. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, that's actually a pretty good business model. Taking blind mountain climbers up to the top of Mount Everest. Hey, you know that thing that's going around where, like, if you're a woman and you meet, like, if you're alone in the woods, would you rather meet a bear or a man, right? Yeah. And a lot of women are, like, choosing the bear, right? But I think it's just ignorance of bear knowledge. Because, yeah, I met a bear once and he fucked the shit out of me. Yeah, a couple of weeks back, North Korea sent over 200 balloons over to South Korea. And they're all filled with, like, garbage and excrement. But that statement's not exactly accurate. Because they weren't filled with shitty trash. No, they're packed with Dane Cook's jokes. And, you know, in retaliation, South Korea set up these loudspeakers, and they're like blasting like anti-communist propaganda and like K-pop, right? And in retaliation to that, North Korea set up their own loudspeakers, but they don't have like bands like BTS in North Korea, right? So they just blast like the most annoying sounds they could think of. And you probably guessed it, Matt Rife's comedy special.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you know, there's a new disorder going around called Usher syndrome. Yeah, it makes you go blind and deaf. It's pretty serious, you know? Because I always thought when you got Usher syndrome, it just made you go, yeah! Yeah, my dog, she's real cute, you know? She's so cute when other dogs see her, they go, oh my gosh, that dog is so cute! And then they go, oh my gosh, I can talk! Yeah, I served in the United States Army, 1st Cavalry Division, Fort Hood. Oh, thank you. It was cool, you know? It was weird being the only Asian person, though. Yeah, every day people were just looking at me like, are we supposed to shoot this guy? Yeah, I was driving around the other day and I got pulled over by a horse cop. Yeah, that's crazy, you know? I didn't even know he was behind me until I heard this, woo, woo! And it wasn't the siren making that sound either, it was the horse. Hey, you know, scientists reported earlier this year for the first time 2 male humpback whales having sex. Yeah, Hollywood's already going to make a movie about them. Yeah, they're going to call it Humpback Mountain. Yeah, it's weird how language changes over time, right? Like nowadays, if a guy came up to me and told me he was going to blow my brains out, I wouldn't know whether to run away or pull my pants down. You know, the NFL has one Asian player, and he's a kicker. Could you not find a more racist position for this guy? Yeah, where you make him go out barefoot in a karate uniform? Yeah, I was watching a Bigfoot show the other day. And, it struck me as how dedicated these Bigfoot hunters were. Yeah, you know, they're so devoted to something that might not even be real. Like comedians in their careers. Yeah, I was watching the Oscars this past season. Towards the end, I was getting all excited, you know? I was like, hey, look, they're bringing back the Mummy. But then I saw it again, I was like, oh no, that's just Al Pacino. Yeah, I was talking to you the other day, he told me he's Persian. I was like, you're Persian? From Persia? He was like, yeah, where are you from? I was like, the Han Dynasty, I guess. Yeah, I had a real bad haircut the other day, you know, about a month ago. It was horrible, right? You ever have a haircut so bad people start treating you differently? I'm like, this guy must have a learning disability or something. You know your shit's fucked up when the waitress at Denny's tying a bib around your neck. Yeah, I was eating pizza the other day, but kind of depressing eating pizza by yourself, you know? Yeah, it's like eating cake or getting drunk by yourself. Basically like my last birthday. Yeah, I've had sex with all different types of women, you know, like white, black, Asian, Mexican. In my opinion, Asian women give the best blowjobs. If any of you ladies like to prove me wrong, you can maybe leave back in later. Yeah, being in the army is pretty cool, you know. You get some good benefits, right? I'd say the best benefit, though, is the ability to give old men hard-ons. Yeah, old men, they love hearing army stories. You know, I guess because it gives them hope for the future or makes them feel younger or something. Doesn't even matter what race they are. Like if I meet some old man in a park and I start telling him army stories, he'll start coming all over me. Yeah, O.J. Simpson died a couple months back. That was pretty crazy. The crazier thing was how he crashed the internet. Yeah, the second he died, like half of America got online and was like, who the fuck is O.J. Simpson? Yeah, this past April 4th is a new national holiday. It's now National Burrito Day. Pretty cool, right? The very next day, April 5th, is now National Toilet Clogging Day. Yeah, I remember that, hear about that boat that crashed into that bridge over in Baltimore? Yeah, it crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Kind of ironic, right? It's like, oh, say, can you see? There's a giant fucking boat coming! Yeah, they said the boat came from Singapore. I was like, ah, crap, Asian driver, you know. Yeah. You know, on the news they said the boat weighed like 200 million pounds. It's pretty damn heavy, right? It was actually even heavier before. It's actually 300 million pounds. But my ex-wife, she got off the boat right before I hit the bridge, so.
No.
And you know, doctors are so full of shit, right? Like, even back in the day, right, in the 20s, people didn't trust eating hamburgers. So when White Castle came out, he like hired a bunch of doctors to sit in his restaurant and like eat hamburgers and stuff. So people would walk by and be like, oh wow, I guess hamburgers are good for you, you know? Hamburgers aren't good for you. And in the 50s, right, they had doctors selling cigarettes. You know, like whatever, all these newspaper, magazine, and even commercials. They're like, oh, I'm a doctor, so I smoke Camels. Yeah, that's such bullshit, right? Because they're doctors, they know better. And the newest medical scam going around nowadays is that whole prostate rectal exam thing. Yeah. You know, I've heard 100 different prostate rectal exam stories, and they all end the same way. They didn't find anything. You know, if it's so important, why don't you show me what to look for, and I'll stick my own finger on my own ass. How about that? But, oh no, we can't have that, can we? Well, you need a medical degree just to find a bubble up your butt? I'll tell you, my intestines aren't the only thing full of shit around here. You know, the whole Asian little dick myth thing, it actually worked to my advantage about a month ago. Yeah, this little 5'2", like, petite French lady, she like totally singled me out, you know? I guess because she thought like, hey, look at this Asian guy, he probably has a lot of money and a little dick. Wrong. I'm broke as hell, and I have a normal sized dick, you know? I know, because I was in the army. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. And when she saw it, she was like, oh my God, your dick is huge. Which every guy loves to hear, right? And I was like, it's not that big, but thanks. You know, it's whatever. It's a bit short, you know, but it's kind of girthy. So upon initial insertion, she was like, ah! And you know, I encourage all you guys to date women that are like at least 6 inches shorter than you, you know, or more. Yeah, I'm telling you, when I saw my dick in her little hands, I was like, well, maybe I do have a big dick, damn. Yeah, I felt like a porn star being with her and shit. Yeah, I'd give myself a porn name and shit. I could be E1. Ooh! And I'll tell you a story. Okay, as when I first in process into the army, right? Like, my recruiter, he picks me up and he takes me to the Bonaventure Hotel in downtown LA. Real fancy place, right? He's like, you see that line? Get in the line and sign in, and they'll tell you what to do. So I do that. They give me a room key. They say, all right, you better go to sleep early tonight. We're gonna wake you up at 3 in the morning. I'm like, I'm fucking 18 years old, 3 o'clock. Like, I've never woken up that early. So I'm like, fuck, whatever. And just sure enough, right, 3 in the morning, the fucking phone rings. I pick it up, I'm like, hello. And they're like, get up, get down, you know, get downstairs, get on the bus. So I do that, and then they take us to this Air Force Base, I think, in Long Beach. So the very first thing they do is they break us up into our branches, right? Like Army here, Navy, Marines, Air Force. Right away, it's apparent to everyone that all the pretty girls are in the Air Force, you know. And so I'm in the Army. I'm like, fuck. Right? Anyway, so they take us this test. It's like fucking SAT on steroids and shit. It's fucking crazy. And then those of us that pass, they break us up in these little groups. And then me, they tell me, all right, you go into this room. So I go into this room, and right away I'm like, oh, what the fuck? It's basically a bunch of dudes in their underwear, right? And they're all like in these rows. And they're fucking doing like jumping jacks and like fucking windmills and shit. And they're like, get in there, right? And I'm like, what? You know, I'm like, okay. And then they're like, all right, take off your clothes and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, right? I'm like, I guess. And so anyway, I get in line. What's going on is there's a sergeant in the front. He's telling everyone, okay, now do windmills. All right, now do fucking jumping jacks. All right, now do push-ups. And these two other sergeants are like walking around the rows, just looking at us like hawks and shit. And one of those sergeants, he yells to the guy next to me, he's like, you, do that windmill again. And he tries, but he can't get his arm all the way up. And so he's like, get up, you're out, you know? And that was it, you know, that's how quick it was. And that was just the beginning, you know? We had like eye test, hearing test, fucking all sorts of different tests. And people were like, you're out, you know, they're getting cut left and right and shit. Well, this one Mexican dude, he's a big old buff dude, he's all tatted down. And we're all sitting there, he's all talking to us, he's all saying like how his dad was a Marine, and how his uncles were all Marines and shit, and like how he's gonna be like the best Marine in the world, right? All of a sudden this guy comes out there, he's like, oh, you're out. He's like, what? He's like, why? It's like, your neck is too thick, you know, they measured too thick. That was it. And he was fine, he couldn't be a Marine. And he almost started crying right then and there in front of everybody. That was crazy, you know? And then so just test after test, you know, finally it's around 5 o'clock, and I finished my last test, you know? And the sergeant's like, all right, you passed, you know? He's like, welcome to the U.S. Army with his son, you know? I was like, thank you, Sergeant. You know, I shook his hand and shit. Oh, I was so proud and like so grateful, you know? Then the whole time I was in the Army, I couldn't wait to get out of that motherfucker. Okay, let me tell you another story. All right, my family, they own a carpet cleaning company in LA, right? And so after I got out of the Army, I worked for them, you know? And we did a lot of work in West Hollywood because a lot of the other carpet cleaning companies didn't want to go out there. But for us, you know, money's money, hell, you know, we're immigrants, so. So I go to West Hollywood and I go to this guy's house. And the way we clean a carpet is we'll go to the end of the house first and we'll work our way backwards. So we're not stepping on stuff that we already cleaned. Anyway, I follow this guy down this long hallway loaded with these small framed pictures. And in the room, there's nothing but a bed. And so, whatever. But on the wall, there's like this giant life-size poster of like this naked man, right? And he's sitting there like, it's like, right? And on the other wall, there's another life-size poster with two naked men, you know? One of them's holding the other's dick, you know? And they're both like, right? So I'm just like, okay, whatever, you know, don't ask, don't tell, whatever, you know, nothing to see here. So I'm cleaning, and I hit something under the bed, right? And it starts making noise and shit. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, whoa. You know, I saw what I could only describe as a beeping, blinking, twisting, transformer dildo snake, right? It was like, blue, 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 so making all this noise and shit. And I know how to turn it off. It was all greasy and shit, you know, like, fuck. Finally, I turned it off, I threw it in the bed. And I'm cleaning and shit, I'm just trying to get out of there. And I'm in the hallway, and I look at the pictures, and those little framed pictures in the hallway were of other carpet cleaners with their dicks hanging out. I was like, oh no! And then I hear this, and I turn around, and it's the guy, you know? And he's got a camera in one hand and a $100 bill in the other. I'm not gay or anything, but money's money, so hell. Okay, I'll tell you, it's a joke. Yeah, this billionaire, right? He's throwing this party. It's like his 50th birthday, so it's a very special occasion. So he wants to do something special. So he fills his pool with a bunch of like alligators and piranhas and shit, and electric eels. And then during the party, he's like, all right, everyone, let me get your attention. You know, anyone who's willing to swim across this pool, you know, I'll give him either my house or all my cars, or you can have one night with my beautiful wife, right? So everyone's like kind of looking around, you know, no one's willing to do this, right? And all of a sudden they hear this splash, and everyone looks, and sure enough, there's this guy just swimming down the middle of the pool, and all the animals are trying to swarm him, and he's so fast. And then as soon as, like right when they're about to all jump on him, he jumps out of the other end of the pool and shit. And so the billionaire runs up to him, he's like, oh my gosh, it's like, that was fucking incredible, you know, I can't believe you actually did that. Like, wow, he's like, you know what, you deserve everything. You know what? He's like, what do you want? You want the house? And he's like, the guy's all tired and she's like looking around. He's like, no, man, I don't want your house. He's like, oh, you want the cars, right? You want the cars? He's like, no, man, I don't want your fucking cars. He's like, oh, I know, you want my wife, right? Honey, come here, right? He's like, no, man, I don't want your fucking wife. He's like, what do you want? He's like, I want to find the motherfucker who pushed me in.
Keep it going, but you want